Sportscast Sports Talk 101 on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. Sportscast Sports Talk 101.
Discuss, debate, entertain, and loud.
Sportscast Sports Talk 101.
Woo, Niners.
Dude, this billboard that I got here literally says everything that we need to know about week 2 of the NFL. Lessons learned.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at the analytics, and I basically took it and I went like this, and I balled it up and I just threw it out because I can't.
Right.
2 weeks in a row,
Right.
have no idea what the hell's going on in the NFL anymore. Absolutely no clue what's going on.
Let me tell you something. Miami, Tua, I want to officially apologize to you, Tua. I apologize to you. I apologize to Tyreek Hill, Waddle. I mean, good Lord, man. Holy cow.
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same because I not just on this show, last year, this show, Thursday nights when I've guest appeared on Victor's show.
Yeah.
Anything, I have been very critical and outspoken about how I was not a fan of the fact that Tua should have been signed. But what we're seeing now is a healthy Tua. This is the guy that was the pre-injury Tua back in college that was on fire right before he got injured. And this is what he's going to be, a very dangerous quarterback because he's getting better every weekend. Do tight ends.
I am starting to believe what he said when Tyreek says that he could throw better than Patrick Mahomes, folks. Holy, wow.
So real quick, before we'll jump into 49ers, Washington, but we're going to go over our picks from last week to showcase why our lessons have been learned for week 2, because we don't know what the hell we're talking about anymore. I can't basically. So initial one, we went Chiefs versus Chargers. Ray and I both picked the Chiefs. We got that right. Dolphins versus the Ravens. We both picked Dolphins. We obviously saw how that worked out because I wasn't expecting.
I didn't know it was going to be worked out that good.
No, that was crazy. We went Jets at the Browns. Ray picked Browns. I went with the Jets as a joke, and yet Jets won with the upset out of nowhere.
Do you know anything about the football management? You were not supposed to get that touchdown. You were supposed to lie down on the ground and let the clock run out, boy. No, you let Joe Flacco. Oh my God, I feel sorry for the city.
Now credit to Flacco. Flacco has thrown for 614 yards in 2 games. He's thrown 307 yards both back-to-back games, over 300-yard games. That was I don't know the last time that he's done that.
I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, Ron. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Says don't drink the Miami Kool-Aid. Boy, you better get a sip of that Kool-Aid.
Let's get that highlighted there. There we go. And then we got the best one. We got SP Stadia Pro Gaming says go Niners.
Fastest receiver, Hill and Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle came, but the thing is, Waddle came out of nowhere from last year. Waddle was the surprise highlight for that team last year. We had
both of those receivers almost got over 200 yards.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. That was a spectacular game that I don't think anybody thought was going to happen. Washington at the Lions. Lions won that one.
Telling you, man, Lions ain't no joke.
The Lions aren't no joke. And 2, Washington's biggest issue is the fact that they wait till the second half to decide to actually do anything. But they were riding now the other issue was they were riding Carson Wentz they were riding that cloud 9 nonsense week 1 with him throwing 4 touchdowns, and then he fell flat back to earth and got that wake up call.
He did come back though in the 4th quarter.
He did, but you can't win games doing that. No, that is a killer.
I agree, but I am not going to call Wentz a scrub.
I'm not calling him yet.
He's not a scrub.
Not yet. We'll give him time, but he'll get to that level. Hopefully he doesn't. I would love for them to not. And we'll go further into detail, guys, with the after we get through this. Colts at Jaguars. We both got that one wrong because we picked the Colts to win, and I don't know what the hell happened, except that they got shut out by the Jaguars, who
Taylor
I
killed
don't
me
know
on my
anybody.
fantasy. Taylor, you killed me on my fantasy, man.
What I want to know is, out of that, did who placed a bet with the books, with the bookies on the Jaguars? Because whoever it was, I bet you won out big time on that one.
Matty Ice was
Oh,
damn, he melted.
yeah, he was
It was
a
shut
no
out.
show
Folks, they got a donut. Shut out. Donut.
to the Jaguars. That's the issue here. It's not so much that they got shut out. That is a big thing, but it's who they got shut out by.
Yeah.
And by the points. It wasn't like 7-0, 10-0. That I could understand. But when you get beat by triple digit scored, 3 touchdowns, you're getting, 3 scores. That's you don't want that. So the next one up was Bucks at the Saints. Ray went Saints. I went Bucks because I never bet against Brady. And of course, Brady and the Bucks win it. They got the job done.
The ugly game.
Either way, given the history with Brady going up against the Saints. Patriots at Steelers. The Steelers were who we picked, and the Patriots won. Falcons at Rams. We both got that one right. The Rams won that.
The Falcons almost came back.
Yes, they did. And we both went with the 49ers. It was a heartbreak for their quarterback, but
yeah.
Jimmy's going to lead them to the Super Bowl.
Wait a minute, did you say heartbreak or did you say ankle break?
Oh no! Oh, that was a torn up ankle and a fibula break. He smashed that thing to pieces.
I don't know.
He's done. The issue that I have, and we'll discuss it. Let's get through this.
Got it.
Bengals at the Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Cowboys squeaked a win. Cooper Rush, man, God, he came out of nowhere. That was fun watching him. I get a win. A win is a win.
What the hell is going on, Bengals?
Texans at the Broncos. Broncos won that one. Cardinals at Raiders. Raiders was who we picked. They lost. That was probably one of the most fun games to watch. At the end of it, when it sent overtime, I was on the edge of your seat. If you were a Cardinals fan, you probably have no voice because you were about to punch
he
your.
Earned his money at the end. Folks.
Yes,
he's throwing it. Green, you got to catch that ball, Green. Come on now. And he said, "Screw it, I'm just gonna run it in. I got to do it myself."
But not only that, and then to get the 2-point conversion, to send it to overtime and then win it was I'm like, what is going on here?
That's what Raiders been doing out here in the Bay Area, and that's why they went to Las Vegas.
Yeah, Ron said the Raiders are a mess.
Get the heartbreak.
Bears at Packers. We already knew who that was going to be a win for. That was Rodgers and Packers.
He got his number one receiver back. Shout out to Aaron Jones.
Titans at the Bills. I mean, that was no question. The Bills were going to win. I didn't expect the Bills to wallop them that bad. Like, that was just a straight beat down to the point where Josh Allen got to take the bench.
Yeah.
he's like, I'm done. Who wants to take it?
You're going to regret letting A.J. Brown go to the Eagles. You're going to regret that.
And the final game was Vikings at Eagles. And Ray got that one right with the Eagles winning it. And not just winning it, they controlled every aspect of that game.
That defense was on fire.
And
Jalen Hurts. Oh, hello.
Hey,
come on now.
At this point, based off of the game, I'm going to go with this is what I'm going to say with the NFC East, because we all know the NFC East is the laughing stock of the league. It always has been. It's basically anybody's league. At this point, with where I'm going to put the standings, the Eagles at the top. I'm going to put the Giants, then Washington, and Dallas is at the bottom. And my reason for Dallas being at the bottom is because you don't have Dak. I don't care about Zeke. Zeke is a nobody at this point because he's getting overshadowed by their other running back. Zeke is just an overpaid backup running back now that gets to come out every now and then, get a couple of yards here and there, and then takes a backseat to their star running back that makes half that kind of money. But with Dak gone and Cooper Rush in for 6 to 8 weeks or so, you don't know where that team's going to end up. They could be out of the playoffs. But by the time Dak comes back, they could already be out of the playoff race at that point. So
Cooper ain't no scrub.
No, he's not. He's not. He showed that clearly by just coming in right off the bench. and putting on a clinic. He showed that. But I'm just saying there are tougher teams that he's going to have to face, and I don't know if he's going to be able to hold his
Bengals?
own.
The Bengals?
Before the season started, who would have thought that the Bengals would be going into week 3 0-2, and the Jets would have a better record than 5
You know what?
teams in the
Because
NFL?
you know what? You take Chase. He's your nut. That was the weapon. That was your
Dude,
weapon.
he got pummeled with the sacks. He might break his own record from last year with how many times he gets sacked in
I
a
wouldn't.
season.
You know what? I would not. I'm like, I am not standing behind you, mofo's. You guys are gonna get me killed. I'm not. Look, I'm not. Hey, you go get me some offensive linemen right now. I'm not, dude. I mean, they like
So,
parked like the Red
Stadium
Sea,
Pro
man.
said the Bengals haven't been good since Walk Like an Egyptian was on the radio. And we
Hey, they
got
went to the Super
Ron
Bowl
dropping it in
last
the Hurts
year.
donut.
They
It
went
was
to the Super Bowl.
they did, and now the Jets have a better record than them. So I mean, who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
Where do you think do you think the 49ers move to a playoff caliber team at this point now with Jimmy back at holding
you
on?
see how, first of all those players rallied behind Jimmy. He went. Look, he wins. He wins.
He
He
does.
wins games.
He has, and I'm sorry, but he didn't look like he had. He did show a little rust, but
Yeah.
to be fair, when's the last time he played? What was the last game? It's been a while since he played. Now
I'm not fully sold because it was the Seahawks and
right.
Seahawks.
I want to see if he stays consistent. My question is though, if he stays consistent, what happens to Ashes? What's going on, buddy? Sports Talk. Go Broncos.
We gotta talk about your coach though, man. Your coach.
We'll get to the Broncos next, since that was the next team I saw. But I got a question for you. Where, if Jimmy succeeds and gets them to the playoffs, even if it's not the Super Bowl, what do they do with Trey Lance next year? Do they give him back the reins and say, let's try this again? Do we?
They're good. Look, first of all, smart on the 49ers getting Jimmy for like what, $6.5 million. They got him.
Dude, you got a $6.5 million starting quarterback.
He's not a backup, folks. You know he's a starter. You know that's.
But what would your thoughts be if they keep Jimmy and they use Trey as in a trade? Because how many
man, in this league, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
My thing is, this is going to be his third year,
Right.
and you're basically starting from square one again. Next year, this 2022 season, his first full season as a starter is a wash. So now you've got to go to his third year and see if he's still going to be the same guy. Let's be real.
I'm already gonna
knee injury. You can kind of come back from ankle.
What makes you think Jimmy is right now? No matter what he does, he's gonna get paid from another team. Another team.
Well, exactly that. But I think that's going to be the other issue for the Niners is you've got some serious issues here, because do you keep Trey Lance? Do you trade him? Do you keep Jimmy? And what happens if because Jimmy's money, his contract's going to go up next year if he does well enough. And there's going to be teams that are going to be calling for him if they stay with Lance. I tell you what they're going to do.
I tell you what they're going to do. And this is crazy. This is crazy, but they're going to keep Trey. They're gonna keep Trey, because Trey did show flashes of goodness. He did throw some nice passes to.
My concern for that the only thing my concern will be is how is he still gonna be a dual threat, or is he just gonna be a one-dimensional now? Because it's not like the knee isn't it's one thing when you injure your knee, you can kind of get back from that, but it's another thing when it's an ankle, and he had a nasty injury. Right. That's a nasty injury. So
he's not gonna be, when he comes back, man, that foot's still gonna be tender. He's still gonna be kind of like scared of injury. I mean, so that injury he had, I had that same injury, and I'm gonna tell you, I had to go to rehab. Rehab was a pain in the ass, and it took a long time for me to run and get speed. And so he's not gonna be 100% next year, folks.
Yeah, and that's my concern. That's my only issue with Do they keep him? Do they trade? Like, it's not going to be it'll be an interesting offseason. So
They're gonna
let's
keep.
move to we'll move to the other team that we saw in the chat. Somebody's a fan of the Broncos, it seems.
All right, here's my
Let's talk coach.
issue. Here's my issues with the Broncos. The dude makes the worst calls. When you have the crowd telling him the time, they get penalties. Coach should know what they. I mean, he even said, "I got to work better." Calling plays and clock time management. Plus, he's got to believe in his quarterback. Right now, I don't think he believes in the quarterback because there's been some stuff that I think Wilson could have won the game, but the coach decided to go a different route. So,
Yeah.
I did the same. Yeah, you sure did, Vet.
As soon as Jimmy got in there, like as soon as that game was the Vikings game was over, I went immediately and I grabbed him on waivers. I was like, I'm taking Jimmy, I'm taking this guy, and I'm taking this guy. I took
Yeah,
Flacco and Jimmy G
yeah.
just as
My
insurance
my
policies.
my problem with the Broncos is you got Melvin and you got Williams, and you're not running them like you should, man. That's like having a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and you're not driving them, man. You gotta run that ball, man. You gotta do a lot of running, and they're not running. You can't just
Yeah.
be passing the ball. Like, I get it. Wilson can throw the ball, but there's sometimes you got to get them boys running, man.
But and that's exactly it. Is some of these coaches have to realize where the league has started to finally go away from that pass happy league. It's not. Yes, there are some teams that can still rely heavily on the passing game. Chiefs, Dolphins, the Bills. But for the vast majority, a lot of these teams have got to rely on the running game to build up
Right,
that passing game, just like you
right.
had to back in the 90s, the early 2000s, and
Bro,
it's just how football works.
you're 31, 32. What are you doing? Hand the ball off and let those guys. I
That's why
mean,
you have running backs
that's
for
what you got
things like
running
that.
back.
Do you think look at the Steelers back in the day? Remember the bus?
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis never
Oh,
would have seen a quarterback throw on a third and short or a
but
fourth and
but
short if they
but
were going for it. I
we got a
guarantee you.
we got a problem though, man, because now they starting to stack them boys in the box, and you got people like Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. Good Lord, getting under 50 yards. Oh
Yeah,
my God.
that one shot. I think the biggest shock from the week was that
No,
Henry
no,
had.
I'll take biggest shock is Lamar Jackson running his ass, throwing his ass off, and I'm like,
You know what?
God, and lost that game.
Yeah, that was the best thing. I mean, I've given him slack anyways because all he seemed to ever focus on
He
was
can
that
throw the
running game.
ball, man. That's
But
not
he's gotten better. And I admit that I was wrong.
beginning of the
I've
game,
given him.
103-yard kick return, folks.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty.
A
I miss.
75-yard
I miss.
touchdown by the
I
quarterback,
miss.
and you still lost the game.
I miss the kick. I saw the highlights of that,
I
and
saw
that
it.
brought back. I was just like, I saw that, and then all I thought was, Devin Hester.
I
The
was
good old
jumping
days
up, brother.
with
I was
with
jumping up.
the special teams returns.
103.
That is crazy.
Oh, and they still lost the game.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
We
Um,
had some
how about
teams that shouldn't have lost, dude. A lot of
no?
games.
Washington clearly should not have lost that game. I'd never count out Patrick Mahomes. There are quarterbacks you never count out. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, and there's a few others that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I can't. I was trying to keep his name out of my mouth. So
I'll say it.
What about the? I'm trying to think. Let's looking through the scores. Another head scratcher. How about the Giants?
Hey.
not only the Giants, but do we think Carolina was hyped? There was too much Baker Mayfield hype going on?
Ray doesn't mind saying it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I felt bad because McCaffrey, he did get over 100 yards.
Yeah, he did.
And but yeah, they lost, man. They lost.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure this out because they were hyped up. There was all this talk. The Browns were, or the Panthers were going. Carolina was going to be this hot team. You know, they got Baker Mayfield. They got an upgraded quarterback, and now they're sitting at 0-2.
The problem with Baker Mayfield is that he holds the ball too long and he's not using vision. He's not looking,
Yeah.
And I mean, them boys are coming and they're knocking those. Like, he holds the ball too long, man. You should know that. That's like football 101.
Yeah, you don't do that. So let's see. I'm looking to see who the hot teams are right now. I mean, besides the Giants are 2-0 and the Eagles are 2-0.
First of all, I want to say this right here.